Welcome to Japan and its capital city Tokyo, which now hosts the 2019 World Judo Championships. It was here that the Kodokan was founded by Dr. Kano Jigoro, and now it was attended by guests including Her Imperial Highness Princess Tomohito of Mikasa and IJF President Mr. Marius Visser, who came for an art exhibition celebrating judo on the eve of the championships. Mr. Visser then welcomed the judo family to a gala dinner which honoured some of the sport's greatest Olympic champions, and culminated in a performance by IJF Ambassador Albano. The scene for the championships would be the Nippon Budokan, the same venue that will host judo during the Olympic Games next year, and for Japanese judoka, a hallowed ground. The judo-loving public here were in for a treat, as they got to see the world's very best athletes and to cheer on their own team of superstars. We'll bring you all the best action and stories of judo's flagship event, an event which once more showcased the values of this incredible sport. We start at under 60 kilograms, where world champion Takato Naohisa of Japan suffered a shock defeat at the quarter-final stage when Uzbekistan's Sharafudin Lutfilayev caught him for a wazari, which was upgraded to ippon by the video referee. Takato would not be champion on home soil this year. Lutfilayev went on to make the final, throwing with Uchimata again to defeat Guzman Kyrgyzbayev of Kazakhstan, setting up a showdown with Georgia's Lukumi Chukvimiani. Let's join former world champion Neil Adams to see which of these judoka would become world champion for the first time.
Chukvimiani, 2 Shidos down. He's got to attack. He knows he has to attack here. Either one of these, well, one of them's going to become a new world champion. Oh, now then. Well, they've given an ippon, and I don't think it was an ippon. I think it was a wazari. Chukvimiani's not celebrating, not yet. Uchimata from Lutfilayev there, but he goes over. Definitely a wazari, was changed, and now Chukvimiani is in the lead. 24 seconds left, and look at that left arm going over. Lutfilayev looking for it. Oh, there's the ippon. What a technique that was. It didn't look as if it was going to work, and now he celebrates. He celebrates. He is the new world champion. Technically, it looked very, very awkward, but he makes it work. The hips come across, massive surigoshi, and look at that. Over Lutfilayev goes. Chukvimiani is the new world champion. Absolutely incredible stuff. Wazari first, and then a clean ippon. He knew he had to attack, and what a time to do it.
Chairman of the Tokyo 2020 Coordination Commission, Mr. John Coates, was on hand to present Chukvimiani with his gold medal. He was joined on the podium by Kazakhstan's former world champion Yeldos Smetov, who defeated his teammate Kyrgyzbayev to take one of the bronzes. Whilst the other bronze went to Japan's Nagayama Ryuju, who upset Takato to steal the contest, ensuring that Japan gained some consolation from a category they had high hopes of winning. A defeat taken in classy fashion by Takato. At under 48 kilograms, Daria Biladid of the Ukraine, judo's youngest ever world champion, was back to defend her title. Not active much in the past year, she nevertheless looked every bit the champion as she made it through to the final. A huge Osotogari ippon against Spain's Laura Martinez saw her into the semi-finals, where she dispatched former world champion Mungbat Urunsetseg of Mongolia with ease, securing a pin to win by ippon. Tanaki Funa of Japan would face Biladid for gold after defeating Distria Krasniki of Kosovo in spectacular fashion in their semi-final. A sensational Sodi Surikomigoshi from Tanaki, setting up a rematch of the final last year in Baku. But the result would be the same. A wazari midway through the contest proving decisive, as Biladid successfully defended her title. 18 years old and already a double world champion. What a future Biladid has ahead of her. In attendance to award the incredible Biladid her medal was Her Imperial Highness Princess Tomohito of Mikasa. Will the Ukrainian wonderkid be topping an Olympic podium here in 1 year's time? Monkbat took one of the bronzes by arm-locking Melanie Clement of France. And we'll see who took the other bronze later on in the programme. Up one weight at under 52 kilograms, there was a dream matchup at the semi-final stage. Japan's Abe Uta, the world champion, against Kosovo's Majlinda Kelmendi, the Olympic champion. It's a contest which has been nearly a year in the making. In Kelmendi's absence, 2018 saw Abe crowned as world champion in Baku at just 18 years of age. She is now the dominant force in the category, and she showed just why with some brilliant judo during her elimination contests. Kelmendi is a national treasure, a double world champion and her nation's first Olympic champion. This year, she returned from injury and also looked good as she set up a showdown with Abe. This is the kind of match that makes a World Championships. These two are head and shoulders above the rest, and as expected, it was a tense encounter. It would be decided in golden score.
What a match this is! Both going for it, both have two Shidos, one more, and they will have lost it. Abe Uta attacking with the Ashiwaza, now Kouchi, now is she going to go to the ground? She has the arm here, Kelmendi. Oh, she made a mistake, she stayed there too long, Kelmendi, and now Abe Uta, is she going to get that leg out? They normally do, and she has Kelmendi, and she has her in a hold, and Kelmendi doesn't look as if she's going to escape from that. It was the match that everybody wanted to see. Everybody wondered what the result was going to be, and this is what happened in the end. It's gone to nearly 3 minutes in golden score. Abe Uta gets her to the ground at last, and she goes for the arm. She triangles the arm, and then she turns her, and she has to get the leg out, and at this stage, well, Kelmendi is trying to hold off, but it was too late. Abe Uta readjusts her balance, and it's all over. She holds her for Ippon, and the fight that everybody was waiting for certainly didn't disappoint. Incredible respect from two great champions.
Natalia Kuzyutina of Russia would face Abe in the final, after defeating the world-ranked number 1, Amandine Bouchard of France, in the other semi-final. Could she stop Abe's relentless march to gold on home soil?
Well, Kuzyutina, I'm sure, knows everything that Abe's going to be throwing at her during this final. She'll try and stop it. It's all onto the sleeves. Soni Kamigoshi! Oh, she's gone over! And it's all over before it's actually begun. Abe Uta, Soni Kamigoshi, and Kuzyutina goes over the top. Well, I thought that she'd try and stop the sleeves, and she's obviously done her research, but in the end, look at the readjustment of the hip there from Abe Uta, and she takes her over the top there for her second world title. That was absolute brilliance, it really was. She had to adjust, but when she did adjust, Kuzyutina went right the way over the top. Brilliant stuff from Abe Uta, and she really is a revelation. This is Japan's first gold medal at this World Championships. The crowd absolutely love it, and you've got to think, well, who can stop her at the Olympic Games next year?
Kelmendi took one of the bronze medals on offer after a tough bout with Portugal's Joana Ramos, whilst Abe's teammate Shishimi Ai took the other bronze by pinning Bouchard. But there was no doubting the champion. For now, Abe is the undisputed queen of the category. And the world champion at under 66 kilograms is also an Abe. Uta's big brother Hifumi took his second world title last year in Baku, but has since lost his air of invincibility. In Tokyo, his biggest challenge was domestic rival Maruyama Joshiro, who has beaten him twice in the past year. First in the final of the Osaka Grand Slam, and then in the final of the Japanese Championships. Still, Abe was as dynamic as ever during his elimination contests, showcasing the judo which has made him a fan favourite the world over. This Osotogari Ippon against Matteo Medvez of Italy, a taste of the speed he can produce on the tatami. Not to be overshadowed, Maruyama put on an Uchimata masterclass in his eliminations. He has refined this technique over the years, and now it is a potent weapon. As powerful as it is controlled. So it would be another mouth-watering semi-final. A domestic sort-out with the highest of stakes. There was little to separate these two amazing judoka, and their contest would progress deep into golden score.
3.5 minutes into golden score. Two Shidos up to Maruyama, and this is an absolute epic, this match. This could be the final. Now then, oh, Sumigeshi, oh, it's all over. Sumigeshi there from Maruyama, and Abe can't believe it. Wow, he just waited for the right opportunity. Look at that. There's family up there that are celebrating with him. What a change of direction there. And well, the current world champion goes over and he's not going to defend his title. Sumigeshi there, well actually it lands on the outside of the leg, but in the end he turns him over. He's not going to let him go, but that was the score that he needed to go through to the final.
Facing Maruyama in the final would be Kim Lim-won of South Korea, whose fancy footwork proved too much for the opposition, as he came through the opposite side of the draw in style. But the final was not going his way. We'll join it with Maruyama a Wazari ahead.
38 seconds left. Maruyama already a Wazari up. Just needs to block out now. Not too much. Oh, look at that. Koshiguruma. Oh, and that finishes it off. And what a throw that was. Brilliant stuff. And again, his family celebrate. Maruyama has been absolutely magnificent. The look on his face says it all. It was brilliant. He just needed to coast, but he didn't do that. He wanted to throw for Ippon. What a technique. Koshiguruma and Kim didn't stand a chance. He wanted the Ippon. He wanted to finish in style, and he's had the most amazing tournament. He beat the reigning world champion Abe in the semi-final. This is the first time we've seen him emotional. Everybody else in the audience is emotional. And that was a great performance from a great champion.
Abe had to dig deep to win bronze, defeating Italy's Manuel Lombardo by Ippon. He was comforted by his father afterwards, and the emotion on his face was clear to see. We'll find out who took the second bronze later on in our roundup of the top Ippons from Tokyo. Reigning world champion at under 57 kilograms was Japan's Yoshida Tsukasa, who faced Olympic champion Rafaela Silva of Brazil at the semi-final stage.
What a great match this is. Yoshida Silva, the world champion against the Olympic champion, and Silva, it's got to be said, fighting much better. Oh, she's gone over the top. Yoshida with a Nippon Seanagi there finishes it off. 2 minutes 23 into golden score, and that was absolutely superb. Under pressure, Yoshida, and Rafaela Silva, she just let her concentration go just very, very slightly, and that's all you need with somebody like Yoshida. Yoshida scores Ippon, and she's through.
Looking good on the other side of the draw was Canada's Krista Deguchi. The highlight of her day, this huge Ippon, as she came from a Wazari behind against Sarah Leonie Cizik of France. Formerly of Japan, Deguchi would be renewing an old rivalry when she met Yoshida in the final. After regular time, nothing could separate them. Which of these two could find the spark to make something happen?
Been such a tight match, this one. They know each other so well. Of course, they used to train together as well as compete together. And now, wow, Yoshida, she's in trouble, and it's Deguchi that scores. And Deguchi is the new world champion. She just waited her time there. Yoshida wasn't very strong with that attack, and she made a mistake. First of all, it was Sodi from Deguchi. Then Yoshida turns her back on her, and then Deguchi takes her back with the best Taniotoshi she's ever done. She becomes Canada's first ever world champion. She makes history, and that was absolute brilliance from Deguchi. She's had the best form ever this year, and she polishes it off with a world title for Canada.
Silva defeated Suzuki by Owazari to claim one of the bronze medals on offer. While surprise package Julia Kowalczyk of Poland came up with the goods against Evelina Ilieva of Bulgaria to take the other.
We unite our judo community through the Throw to Tokyo competition, allowing them to upload their versions of the best ippon and allowing the community to choose who the winner is. The winners of the 5 categories were invited here to Tokyo, where they had a chance to go backstage to meet their champions and athletes, as well as to enjoy the World Championships.
Hallo, mein Name ist Elisabeth Gambos und ich habe mit der Anna-Maria Bodillo den Preis gewonnen für die Kategorie Kreativität.
I am Ray and I'm from Hawaii, and the category I won was a technique one.
I was competing in beauty category.
I brought my dad.
And where is your dad?
Right there.
So the prize was an all expense paid from Hawaii to Tokyo with 2 airfares, the hotel, and then a week-long VIP pass to the World Championship.
We hope that all the participants enjoyed their stay here in Tokyo and that they enjoyed to see the highest level of judo.
I met the Japanese players, Tanaki, Shishime, and a lot of people.
Otabe, Bilodit, Nagayama, Maruyama.
Ha sido increíble estar aquí, muy divertido ver la competencia y ver tantas superestrellas.
The best moment was medal from Polish girl, Julia Kowalczyk, and that was amazing.
We believe the Throw to Tokyo competition was a fantastic event which allowed the public to interact with us.
Wir haben die Möglichkeit gehabt, den IGF-Präsidenten kennenzulernen.
For me, the most important is that I'm with here is my son, and this is nice for him to see and touch the best player in the world.
It's been amazing. My son's running around having a blast meeting some of the best judoka in the world and cheering for Japan.
We're going to run the competition again, so be ready to prepare your best ippon for a chance to win 2 tickets to the Olympic Games here in Tokyo, the home of judo.
Muchas gracias IGF por organizar este concurso y por llevar el judo a todo el mundo.
Thank you, IGF!
Going for a 4th world title at under 63 kilograms was Clarisse Agbenienou of France. She is in a league of her own at the moment and took just 10 seconds to defeat Alice Schlesinger of Great Britain in her opening contest. More brilliant judo followed, as one by one her opponents succumbed. She is on the verge of being one of the greatest judoka of all time, and as expected, Agbenienou made it to the final with ease. There she would face a rematch of last year's final, against the one judoka able to challenge her. Tashiru Miku and Agbenienou are good friends off the tatami, and it showed last year in the aftermath of their epic final in Baku. Once again, these two would put on their game faces and go to war. pushing themselves and everyone inside the arena to the limit.
What a final this is! Agbegnanu keeps sending that arm over the top. She can't get through the defences of Toshiro. And Toshiro, it has to be said, is fighting the perfect match. Agbegnanu is a head and shoulders above everybody else. But Toshiro is fighting her hard. Attacks, and she's stolen it. 7 minutes into golden score, and Agbegnanu has done it. And look at them both, they're absolutely out of it. They're exhausted, they can hardly stand up. And well, me in the commentary position as well, I'm absolutely exhausted. That was absolute brilliance, look at that. They end up looking at each other in absolute admiration and friendship. It was brilliant from these two fighters. That Soto Makikomi polishes it off at the end, but it took 7 minutes into golden score, and it's Agbegnanu there that does the attack off the grip and eventually takes her over. She was searching it out all the time. It wasn't going to come, but in the end, Toshiro, she rolls onto her back and gives Agbegnanu the title. It's her 4th world title, and she does it in style. It wasn't a clean ippon as we all wanted at the beginning, but then it turns into an epic final. It's a final that we'll never forget because that was absolute brilliance. These two ladies gave it their all, and in the end, Agbegnanu comes out on top, and the tears and the expressions on their faces tell it all. That was unbelievable. And it shows what judo is all about. Agbegnanu picks Toshiro up because she says that was an amazing final, and I'm glad it was you that was part of it. Wow. Can Agbegnanu fulfill her destiny in 12 months' time at the Olympic Games?
Bronze medals were taken by Martina Tridos of Germany and Jule Fransen of the Netherlands. There was a shock at under 70 kilograms as reigning world champion Arai Chizuru of Japan faltered in her second round contest with Barbara Timo of Portugal, losing by a wazari to end her title defence before it even got going. Timo was galvanised by the win and made it all the way to the final, after defeating European champion Margot Pinot of France at the semi-final stage. Last year's runner-up, Marie-Eve Gay, would meet her there, and ended the fairy tale with an arm lock that brought her a maiden world title. An amazing moment for Gay and for France, who now had 2 world champions here in Tokyo. Sally Conway of Great Britain took one of the bronzes with an ippon win against Austria's Michaela Polares, whilst Pinot earned yet another medal for France by defeating Anna Bernholm of Sweden to take the second bronze. And France had a chance for another gold at under 78 kilograms, as Madeleine Malonga defeated double world champion Mayra Aguiar of Brazil with a skillful counter-attack to book a place in the final. There, she was up against the reigning champion Hamada Shori of the home nation. After gaining a wazari lead, Malonga countered again, levelling Hamada for an ippon win. A 3rd gold for France. Malonga's face said it all. That moment when you become world champion. Loriana Kuka of Kosovo defeated Slovenia's Klara Apotekar to earn one of the bronze medals, whilst Aguiar produced a brilliant Uchimata to defeat Portugal's Patricia Sampaio by ippon in the other bronze medal match. At under 81 kilograms, the reigning world champion Saeed Molai of Iran showed incredible courage. Ordered to withdraw so as to avoid a potential matchup with Israel's Sagi Muki, Molai defied his nation to do what he does best: win. He defeated both Olympic champion Kasan Kalmazeev of Russia and world and Olympic medalist Antoine Valois-Fortier of Canada, as he refused to relinquish his world title without a fight. Continued threats to himself and his family took their toll, but somehow Molay kept on going. At the semi-final stage, he took on the impressive young Belgian Matthias Casse, whose performances keep getting better and better. It would be a bridge too far for Molay. Emotionally and physically drained, he was defeated by a piece of clever transitional groundwork from Casse, who secured an armlock, forcing Molay to submit. He was then a shadow of himself in his bronze medal contest with Luka Maisaradze, defeated by the Georgian, who took a place on the podium in his stead. On the other side of the draw, Muki did exactly what was expected of him. The standout performer of 2019 produced brilliant judo all day as he made it through to the final, where a win would make him Israel's first male world champion. Valois-Fortier defeated Egypt's Mohamed Abdelal by Wazari to claim the second bronze medal. After that, it was time for Muki to come out into the Nippon Budokan to face Casse. Who would come out on top?
Muki always looking for the ippon, and Cass has done very, very well to block him out so far. The standout performer this year, Muki, oh now then! Well, he gets a Wazari for that. That was brilliant. It really was. Cassie come in for a, well, ippon Seoinage, but look at that. Opportune judo, you call that. And he takes him over onto his side for the Wazari. So now, is he going to go for the ippon? He could defend. Oh, he doesn't know. He just goes straight across for the Seotoshi. And Muki is the new world champion. And he's Israel's very first men's world champion, and he did it in style. He's had the most amazing year. He's won everything that he's been in, and he does the same at the World Championships. Left and right Seotoshi he can do. This time it was on the left, and he just drives Casse over onto his back for a clean ippon. It was absolutely brilliant. He's the kind of fighter that always looks for the ippon. And look at the readjustments he makes to make the techniques work. He knows that he's done it. Yet more history is made at these incredible World Championships.
Mr. Raffaele Ciuli, president of the Global Association of International Sporting Federations, presented Muki with his medal. What a year 2019 has been for him. What will the future hold? The man on form at under 100 kilograms was Portugal's Jorge Fonseca. Seeing him throw big with dropping attacks is no surprise. But what made Tokyo special was that Fonseca did it all the way to the final, defeating top seed Valam Lipitiliani of Georgia along the way. His opponent would be Russia's Niaz Ilyasov, whose foot sweeps saw him pass some class opposition, including Sweden's Joachim Dvarby, Cyril Marais of France, and the dynamic young Canadian Shadi Alnahas. In the final, Fonseca scored early, taking the lead by a Wazari inside the first minute. He then showed a guile usually absent from his game, as he protected the lead to become Portugal's first ever World Judo Champion. Their Nearly man had taken his first World Judo Tour gold medal at the biggest event of them all. Japan's Wolf Aron took one of the bronzes by defeating Elmar Gasimov of Azerbaijan. Michael Corral of the Netherlands was delighted with a win against last year's world champion Cho Gu-ham of South Korea that earned him the other bronze. But the man of the day was Fonseca. We spoke to him about why today is particularly sweet, as he shares the story of his darkest moments.
I was diagnosed with cancer a year before the 2016 Rio de Janeiro Olympic Games. It was a really bad moment in my life. Before the diagnosis, I was feeling very confident and well prepared, physically and mentally. And then I got the news. To begin with, I didn't manage the situation very well. I couldn't believe that it was happening to me. I kept asking, why me? Cancer is not an easy disease. I went through such bad times. Because of the Olympic Games, I asked my doctor to help me and give me the quickest treatment. So they doubled my doses. The chemotherapy was so tough. I was doing treatment every 2 weeks so that I could fight in Rio. I wanted it so badly, and I wasn't willing to give up my dream just because of cancer. The cancer made me value myself. I went through the worst part of my life. I was in a bad place, and I managed to come out on top. Now, I appreciate all those moments. I was able to overcome them and became world champion here in Tokyo. I always had this question in the back of my mind. Why me? And I could never really come to terms with this. The doctors and the good people that I had around me made me realise the reality of living with cancer. The doctor took me to the IPO, an oncology unit in Lisbon. It gave me such mixed feelings. I could see the reality of young children struggling to deal with this disease. They wanted so badly to live a full life. These were the moments that gave me strength. Seeing those children growing up without the opportunity to live. At that time, I had recently become a father. I knew I had to be strong. I had to be there for my son. Everything that happened made me grow and made me into the person that I am today. These moments made me the athlete that I am today. Those difficult moments helped make me. In the future, I hope to be able to help other people, like the children in the IPO, the way judo helped me. Now, I'm going to enjoy this medal and start working towards the next one.
With so much action across all 7 days of this event, choosing a list of the top Ippons was impossible. So we narrowed our selection to final block matchups. And Ippon number 3 came when Denis Vieru of Moldova took on Mongolia's Yondon Perenli-Bashku for bronze at under 66 kilograms.
Just into golden score then, Vieru. Always explosive. But Yondon Perenli's dangerous! Oh! It's all over now! Wow! Uchimata and Uranagi combined. It's a combined technique, but this man here does it so well. Vieru attacks from the front and then rotates into the Uchimata. Yondon Perenli, he's been fighting well all day as well, but he had no answer to this. They were both hooked up, and when you hook up with a Mongolian, well, you've got to know what you're doing. Look at that angle there. Brilliant stuff. And Vieru, who's had a great year, finishes it off with a world bronze.
Laura Martinez of Spain was thrilled to be competing for bronze, as she faced Kosovo's Distria Krasniki at under 48 kilograms. One of these two would produce our number 2 Ippon.
Krasniki, always dangerous with that Uchimata, and now got that unusual grip underneath the armpit. Oh, look at that Uchimata. She gets such rotation with that, but such an unusual grip as well. As I said, the right hand underneath the armpit there, which means the elbow comes up into the air, but she still gets direction with it with the rotation. A rotational Uchimata scoring brilliantly for Kosovo and Krasniki, and she gets the bronze medal.
Ippon number 1 came when Noel van ter End of the Netherlands and Serbia's 2017 world champion Nemanja Majdov clashed for a place in the under 90 kg final.
2 Shidos apiece, they've got to go for it. This then for a place in the final. Look how low he is. Oh, van ter End's in the final. That was brilliant from him. Sodi Surikamigoshi, and look at the crowd, they erupt. That was amazing. He was so low there, van ter End, and look at that trailing leg there. It just trails backwards and he drives off it, and well, he goes right the way over the top. Look at the hips, how deep they were, and van ter End just catapults himself over. The former world champion Majdov just didn't stand a chance, and that just shows how van ter End can attack from any position and score. He looks up at the sky, but he is in the final.
Facing van ter End in the final was home fighter Mukai Shoichiro, whose judo was equally spectacular. After some huge ippons, his quarter-final matchup saw him produce an incredible kouchigari against last year's finalist Ivan Silva Morales of Cuba. One moment of trickery would decide the final, van ter End stringing together a combination attack to score Wazari. 10 years to the day since they last celebrated a world champion, the Netherlands finally claimed a global judo crown again. Van ter End later said that he channeled the spirit of Anton Geesink, who became Olympic champion in this very stadium in 1964. Axel Clerget of France took one of the bronzes in style with a Harai Makikomi Ippon against Marcus Nyman of Sweden. Whilst Majdov was all smiles as he claimed the second bronze for Serbia. There was another gold for the home crowd to cheer at over 78 kilograms, as Sone Akira defeated Cuban heroine Idalis Ortiz in the final. Bronzes went to Sone's teammate Asahina Serra, who defeated Maria Suelen Altaman of Brazil by Ippon, and Turkey's Kyra Sayet. In the absence of 10-time world champion Renair, over 100 kilogram favourite was reigning world champion Guram Tushishvili of Georgia. His title defence looked to be on track after some great judo in his eliminations, including an Ippon win against his bogeyman, Henk Grol of the Netherlands. But at the semi-final stage, he was derailed by Japan's Harasawa Hisayoshi. Home advantage spurred Harasawa on, as he took Tushishvili over for a Wazari before pinning him for an Ippon win. On the other side of the draw, Lukas Kapalik of the Czech Republic was up to his usual tricks, catching all of his opponents on the ground to make it through to the final, giving the under 100 kilogram Olympic champion a chance to become a two-weight world champion. The final between Kapalik and Harasawa was epic, with Kapalik coming closest to a score, and with his opponent exhausted, a third and final Shido meant that Harasawa was disqualified, and Kapalik had done it. The culmination of 4 years' work, after leaving his old weight category behind and having to adapt to the heavier division. Lukas Kapalik, one of judo's true champions. Bronze medals were taken by Roy Mayer of the Netherlands and Kim Min-jong of South Korea, who at just 19 years of age defeated Brazilian veteran Rafael Silva by Ippon, showing he has a big future ahead of him. We finish at under 73 kilograms, with the judoka that everyone had come to see. Hailed as the pound-for-pound king, judo's classiest technician, Ono Shohei, is a throwing machine, and he was back to reclaim a world title which he abdicated 4 years ago. In his first contest, he took just over a minute to find his range, before he sent Ungvari Miklos of Hungary flying with Uchimata. After using Uchimata once more to defeat Yunis Ayel Siman of Jordan, he set up a contest with Georgia's Lasha Shavdatuashvili, a big thrower and an early test of Ono's World Championship credentials.
Minute and a half in, Shevdatuishvili is just defending. Double lapel grip for Ono, and we know what he can do from there. Shevdatuishvili tries the arm over, oh, he's gone over! Oh my goodness, Osodagari, and the Olympic champion from London has gone over for the biggest Osoto. Well, he went the wrong way, that's for sure, and that double lapel grip from Ono just set it up perfectly. Osodagari, and he just places him onto his back. He made that look easy against a class fighter. Ono is through, and he looks unstoppable.
In his quarter-final against Turkey's Bilal Seloglu, Ono showed a rarely seen facet of his game, his newaza, as he secured an arm lock to progress. It set up a semi-final with the dangerous Russian, Denis Ayatsev.
Ayatsev has done well to keep Ono out. So far, managing to stop the Uchimata. Ono onto the double lapel again. Now Tomonagi, and he's gone over. Wazari scored and straight into the hold down. And Ayatsev is not coming out of that. That puts him through to the final. Tomonagi, this time with the left foot. He can do it with the right as well. But he lands in the hold down. At first he thought, well, I've scored Ippon. But then he just drops into the hold down just to make sure. Ayatsev did well up to that point. But it's Ono through. And he looks formidable.
Coming through the other side of the draw was Azerbaijan's Rustam Orujov. The man who Ono defeated in the final of the 2016 Olympic Games looked good during the day and came through a domestic sort-out in his semi-final as he defeated his fellow countryman Hidayat Haydarov by Wazari. Haydarov was elated with a bronze medal as a consolation prize, which he took after a grueling bout with Somon Makhmadbekov of Tajikistan. And Ayatsev defeated another fighter from Tajikistan, Behruzi Kodjazoda, to take the other bronze medal on offer. But it was all about the final, an old rivalry rekindled. So far in their 4 matchups, Orujov has not managed to find a weakness in Ono that he can exploit. But one thing was for sure. With a world title on the line, he would give it everything to finally beat the unbeatable Ono.
Almost a minute gone, and Orujov, very cautious. He knows how dangerous Ono is. He's never really been able to stop him. He must have been watching lots of video of him and going over it in his mind, how he's going to beat the great Ono. But Ono seems to have the answer every time. Now he's got the Uchimata, and he's gone over again. Orujov couldn't stop the Uchimata, and wow, Ono has scored Ippon in the final, and he just showed that he is a class above everybody else in the category. The crowd absolutely love him. Orujov bows to the master, and he knows, well, he's got a long way to go before he even challenges this man. This man has his number, and he's also the world champion again. This is Ono's 3rd world title, and he does it in style again. Hopping Uchimata, look how he gets the support leg as deep as he can possibly get. That direction hand is working hard, as is his Kazushi hand, and he places Orujov cleanly on his back. Uchimata is his go-to technique. It's the one he's most famous for, but he has such a variety of techniques. Osodagari, Tomonagi, and of course Newaza during this World Championships alone. And he just does it with absolute brilliance and always looking for the Ippon. He doesn't want anything other than Ippon, and that's why the crowd love him and all the judoka love his judo, because it's absolute brilliance and he's lit up this World Championships and made it so special. Gold medal for him, 4 gold medals for Japan, and 9 different countries on the top of the rostrum. What a World Championships!
So that brings to an end a fantastic individual World Championships here in Tokyo. Japan topped the medal table with 4 golds, but the Femme Fatales of France put their nation just behind with 3. Once again, judo's diversity was on display, with all other gold medals shared by different nations. And we've got even more judo to bring you. Join us next as we cover the best moments from the mixed team event.